Good morning and welcome to the United Stand. I'm Mark Goldbridge and it's Thursday morning and it's it's Viva Ronaldo. If you watched it last night, many of us did watch it on the watch along. What a performance from Cristiano Ronaldo last night for Portugal against Ireland. We'll be talking about that and what it means for Manchester United in a short moment. But ultimately, what I wanted to start off by saying is that Cristiano Ronaldo, we've been skirting around this issue for a little bit, but Cristiano Ronaldo will be wearing the number 7 for Manchester United. I know I've been saying this for probably 3 or 4 days now and people are waiting for that official announcement, but the official announcement realistically is about breaking the internet. I spoke to somebody this morning about this. We were talking about Ronaldo, we were talking about the tactics and the formation at United, and what they told me is that Manchester United are very, very confident that Cristiano Ronaldo wears the number 7 shirt, that plans are in place for Cristiano Ronaldo to wear the number 7 shirt, that this is about Premier League dispensation. We knew that Cavani, if he wore the number 7 shirt, which he did against Wolves on Sunday, then technically that shirt cannot be transferred to Ronaldo. You have to have Premier League dispensation. But with Dan James now gone, and he wasn't sold for that reason, by the way. We didn't sell Dan James just so Cavani could wear the number 21 shirt. But Cavani will probably move to 21, but Ronaldo will get the number 7. And what I was told this morning is, and this is why I said it on Twitter, is that the internet's going to break late next week. Now, United could actually bring it further forward. They could do it before Ronaldo's back in Manchester. But remember, Ronaldo got booked last night, so he can't play against Azerbaijan next Tuesday. So it's unclear whether that means Ronaldo will come back to Manchester early rather than play the game against Azerbaijan. I mean, he's very proud about playing for Portugal. He might want to be there with the team training, but he may well be back, sort of Wednesday, film it, Thursday, get the shirt out. So the expectation is that Manchester United will have a third unveiling of Cristiano Ronaldo, the best unveiling of the lot, where he is, something very spectacular. We've spoken before about on the pitch, maybe get Sir Alex Ferguson involved. Number 7, Manchester United break the internet again on Thursday because international football will be over, and that Thursday before the Premier League, people start to get excited, and then bang, Cristiano Ronaldo, CR number 7, Manchester United. So this is what we're expecting. He will wear the number 7 shirt, officially announced next week, unless the Premier League do something which I don't think that they will do. United want him to be number 7. He wants to be number 7. And there's no issue with Cavani. Cavani hasn't got an issue with him being the number 7. He fully... the word from Cavani is... Well, and this is very much third hand. So, I cannot verify this. But the word was at the start of the week that Cavani, whilst he's been unhappy with a few things at Manchester United, he's understanding of what Cristiano Ronaldo is to Manchester United and to the world of football, and knows that his place, in the kindest way, is to move aside and let Ronaldo have that. So Cavani's not an issue. Manchester United want him to have it. He wants to have it. It's now with the Premier League. But as we've said before, for the Premier League, this is absolutely huge. Their Premier League, fancy Premier League thing is breaking. They're going to make a lot of money out of Ronaldo being here. So effectively, it's like 99.9%. I mean, of course, until something's not actually held up, until he's holding up the shirt, you can't say it's definite, and Man United could change it. I don't know why they would. They could bring it forward, but we're looking at back end of next week, big, massive unveiling of Ronaldo as Manchester United's number 7, and the internet will break. And it will break. It will break. And you know what? Shirt sales alone are not going to make Manchester United make their money back from Ronaldo. I keep telling people this. It's not about the shirt sales. It's about memberships. It's about the growth of your social reach. It's about brands wanting to be part of Manchester United again. That's where United make the money from Ronaldo. It's not a hidden cost. United will see a lot more revenue coming in over the next 12 months. If you imagine like you do a paper round, or you run a shop or something like that, and you look at your last 12 months and your revenue is pretty stable at a certain amount. What United are going to see is a stable amount, and then when Ronaldo comes in for the next 2 years, it's going to go up massively, and that's the Ronaldo income that will pay for his wages and everything else like that. Do you think Ronaldo will play the majority as a number 9, or do you see him interchanging positions like our other forwards, says Samuel Elliott? I want to talk about that. And welcome to the Members Club, Jamie Grayson. Also, we're going to talk about Ronaldo a little bit, but we're also going to be talking about Lindelof. He's been speaking on international duty. We're going to talk about how expensive Man United's squad is, and a little bit about formations as well. But Cristiano Ronaldo will be wearing the Manchester United number 7 shirt, and this should be announced next week. It could be announced earlier. I mean, look, they might want to sell shirts earlier, but personally, I think they'll go for break the internet back end of next week, maybe Wednesday, probably Thursday, but certainly that will get announced next week. Do you think Ollie can maintain the pressure to win trophies because he knows he has a squad to win trophies? We'll talk about that, Lucas Wade. Also, welcome to the Members Club, Dara Kennedy. Appreciate that. I'll talk about Di Maria's comments in a bit as well. Slagging off, he says, I'm not bothered about the number 7 shirt, but really slating Van Gaal, which I can't disagree with. But let me just talk. If you didn't watch last night, we did a watch along on That's Football. I'm sure many of you were watching Cristiano Ronaldo. He scored 2 goals, missed a penalty as they beat Ireland 2-1. Ireland were a bit unlucky, but Ronaldo was just on a different level. Basically, the story of the game, Ronaldo was very quiet, and then in the last couple of minutes of the game, he scored 2 wonderful headers to win them the game. And it's interesting because I even tweeted it last night. Ronaldo, Samuel Elliott, welcome to the Members Club. Ronaldo has this amazing ability to sit down haters, and nobody ever learns. Even if I don't like Ronaldo, which I absolutely love Ronaldo and always have loved Ronaldo, but even if I didn't like Ronaldo, I would shut up until full time. The amount of people who fall into the trap, he's finished, he's crap, he's this, that and the other. I could see it in the chat last night, and then he scores 2 world-class goals and wins the game, and they've got nowhere to go. I was lucky that his movement is elite and he's got an amazing, jumps like a salmon on a trampoline and neck muscles like a giraffe. He's always been like this. But what I loved about last night about Ronaldo is that's the player he is. And I've been saying this for the last week, and many of you know, but some of you won't because maybe you don't watch Ronaldo as much as you used to or whatever. He's certainly not a winger who picks the ball up 40 yards out from goal, blistering pace, gets a shot off and scores like he did 12 years ago. He's different now. He's basically a Harry Kane. That's what he is. He's a Lewandowski. He's one of the world's best strikers. I personally think he's better than both of those two, but I still think he's one of the 2 best players in the world with Messi. So I don't think Ronaldo's fell off. I think Ronaldo's just adapted his game to be a number 9. His movement in the box is elite, and when you look at the game yesterday, there's 2 things that pick up for me. One, the Portuguese manager reminds me a lot of the way Ollie plays. I think he could actually score more goals. I think Portugal totally waste the attacking talent that they've got. I wasn't even surprised they were going to lose to Ireland last night because the Portuguese manager just doesn't impress me. He's very negative, he's outdated, and yet still Ronaldo scores the goals. But what I saw from Ronaldo last night is what we were talking about a few days ago. People think that we're going to play Ronaldo for 70 minutes and then take him off and bring Cavani on for 20 minutes. Last night was why I've always said you don't take Ronaldo off. Look, Ollie doesn't take Rashford off, and sometimes he should. He doesn't take Bruno off, and sometimes he should. But you really don't take Ronaldo off. I've seen people who just want to talk for a living and don't actually watch football saying things like he's going to struggle with the intensity of the Premier League. He won't be able to play 2 times a week. I'm like, where? Why is your arse talking? Why has your arse got teeth? And it stinks. Your breath stinks. Why are you talking out your arse? What knowledge of Cristiano Ronaldo do you have? Cristiano Ronaldo is not going to struggle with the intensity of playing 3 games a week. He's been playing 3 games a week all his bloody career. He's fitter than anything. And he will play. He needs to play every single minute of every game, because if you look at what Ronaldo did yesterday, he's out of the game. There's no service. There's nothing going on. Ireland are doing very, very well. And then right at the end of the game, that movement to get 2 headers. If you sub him off, you don't get that. And Cavani might do it, but Ronaldo will do it. We've got to get quality ball into the box. Wan-Bissaka and Shaw are going to be very important, but I also think Telles and Delo could be very important as well. In certain games, we might need to be a little bit cleverer in the way that we play. I would almost say, if you're at home to Norwich, it might be worth starting Telles and Delo and resting Shaw and Wan-Bissaka, because Shaw and Wan-Bissaka defensively are very important. But if you're playing against somebody at Old Trafford who's going to park the bus, I think Telles and Delo have got better ball delivery. Now, I might be a little bit out there. That might be a little bit controversial. But what you do see from Ronaldo is if you can put quality ball into the box, there's nobody better in world football in the air. As an attacker, he's the best player I've seen in years. The leap, the accuracy, and you've got to get the best out of that. So, look, Manchester United have got a match winner there, and he's going to have to play every single minute that he's fit, and he's going to be fit a lot because he is the GOAT. He is not like Messi like that. You can't whip crosses into Messi. Messi's not a goal scorer. Ronaldo's a goal scorer now, and he's the best in the world at it. So you've got you keep him on for 95 minutes, because in the 94th minute he might just produce something out of something to win you a game. And you've got to build your team around that. You have to build your team around that. And that's the next thing I want to talk about. Solskjaer's got to build his team around Ronaldo, not because he's the best player we've got, not because he's on the best wages, but because he's the match winner. And he will create space for other people. Defenders are going to be terrified of Ronaldo, and they're going to leave space for Sancho and Bruno and Rashford and anybody else who starts. So we've got to build the team around Ronaldo. And one thing we've got to do, because Portugal failed to do it yesterday until the very end, you've got to get quality balls into the box for him. You can't wait 89 minutes to start putting decent crosses in. We've got to change the way we play and build that team around him. Ronaldo surely can't be subbed off. The guy's a tank and doesn't mind playing 120 minutes. Rahul, people who think that Ronaldo is going to struggle with the intensity of the Premier League are absolute clowns. They may as well go and get some boots on, big wig, and some clown makeup, because they just don't know what this player is. I think people were watching Ronaldo last night genuinely thinking he was shit and that he's no good anymore because they don't watch him. I was totally relaxed. I was like, Ireland might win this. It's just an off day. Portugal haven't really created much. And I was just laughing my head off inside that when he scores 2 wonderful goals, because that's what he is now. But he is very much reliant on service. He won't be able to do it all on his own. That's not who he is anymore. And Solskjaer has got to get the best out of him. Now, the interesting thing I did want to talk about is formation. Do you see Ronaldo taking the penalties? I think Bruno is better, says S. Ahmed. I think that's a great point, actually. I love Ronaldo. He will take the penalties. It's probably in his contract. But to be honest with you, if you want to score the penalty, I'm more confident with Bruno. Yeah, I think it's like if I had to choose between Jorginho and Lukaku, I'd go with Jorginho. And I'm sure Lukaku wants to take penalties. I think he did take penalties, didn't he? Will Lukaku take penalties for Chelsea? I don't know. At United, Ronaldo will take the penalties, but I'd rather Bruno took them just because you want to score them. And Ronaldo does score a lot of penalties, and last night it wasn't his best, but Bruno's technique is better than Ronaldo. So I think you go with the better player, but at that technique. I hope Ronaldo helps Rashford improve his aerial ability. He gets in the Well, I think Rashford, Greenwood, any other player are going to learn from the complete and utter goat of training and physique and preparation. I've always said Messi's the better natural talent, but Ronaldo is the better worker. If you want to be, I always used to say Gary Neville was superb at making a career out of a talent that probably wasn't better than most other youth players, but his work ethic and determination and focus have been something that's guided him through his whole career. Ronaldo's that with talent. He's took his talent from something to being one of the world's best players, whereas I think Messi was just naturally talented. Ronaldo's work ethic is absolutely fantastic, and I like that from Sports Rockstar as well. I think there is this perception with Ronaldo that he's slow. I mean, look, even if you only watched the game last night, his mobility over 5 yards, he's quicker than Harry Kane. His mobility over 5 yards is definitely quicker than Kane, definitely quicker than Lewandowski. People act like the guy's slow. He used to be rapid. He used to be one of the fastest footballers in the world. He's not anymore, but he's still very fast, and especially over 5 yards. His movement is unbelievable. If you look at the goal, I think it was the first goal against Ireland, or it might have been the winning goal, one of the two. He's actually offside as the cross is about to come off, and he leaps to get back onside to go and leap to win the game. His movement is just unbelievable, and we've got a in the Premier League. I think he's going to score a lot of goals, but it's going to be on Ollie now. And if you watch the Portugal game last night, I want to talk about what Lindelof said because he's still expecting to play a lot of games, Lindelof. But let's just finish up with Ronaldo. Portugal in the second half, they brought Andre Silva on, and they actually did go with 2 up front. And I was watching it, and I was going. I wonder if Ollie will be watching that game, and I wonder if he's thinking, Carricky, we can go 2 up front with Cavani and Ronnie, and we can do that, but I don't like the idea of 2 up front for Matt. I just don't know what we're going to do, and it's really exciting. I don't know what we're going to do, because I think if you bring Cavani on, you've still got to keep Ronaldo on. So for me, we start with Ronaldo and Cavani's on the bench. But in the second half, if we need goals or we want to pummel somebody, you bring Cavani on, but you don't take Ronaldo off. So I think we will still start with the same formation, the 4-2-3-1, with Ronaldo as the 1 and Cavani on the bench. But I do think that we will probably see Cavani coming on for the last 20 minutes, but you've got to keep Ronaldo on the pitch as well. So what Ollie needs to be doing over these next week and a half is really studying what formation. It forces him to have a plan B, which is something that I think Ollie's lost over the last 18 months. He doesn't really have a plan B in games, and he doesn't change it very often. He can do it. He did it against PSG, but he hasn't done it enough, and I think he's going to have a plan B, because we cannot start with Cavani and Ronaldo as a front two, because this is, we haven't got the midfield for it for a start. We already know we're weak in the midfield. We can't go to a two in midfield to have two up front, and we can't sacrifice a wide player when we've got so many. So it's going to be interesting. And that leads on to Lindelof, actually. Lindelof's been talking. Penal Pessi just stole my pen, Mark. Can you please get it back for me? Says absolute legend. And I'm very rich Irish and was heartbroken last night. I'm very much Irish and I was heartbroken last night. At least we know Ronaldo is still amazing, I guess, says Stevie. Yeah, I felt sorry for the Irish last night. They worked really, really hard and effectively they beat Portugal, but they lost to Ronaldo, didn't they? I know it's still technically a 4-3-3, but Bruno bombing forward with Ronaldo is huge, says BOM. I mean, look, Bruno didn't play well last night. But this is the FIFA generation, isn't it? If you have a bad game, it doesn't matter whether it's a friendly or an international or whatever, you're suddenly shit again. I think Bruno looked really good the first two games against United. I thought he looked quiet against Wolves and he looked quiet against Portugal. But so much of it for me is about tactics. I think the Portuguese manager doesn't even pick Ruben Neves, does he? I think the Portuguese manager is a very poor coach, and I think Oli at the weekend against Wolves was very poor as well. So these flair players are going to struggle in a system that's got no tempo. I mean, people expect players to... Like, even before Ronaldo's 2 goals yesterday, people are saying he's finished. And I was saying, there's no service. All he's doing is just moving around the box, not getting on the end of anything, because the service is crap. As soon as they put some good quality balls in, he'll score. And he did. So, a lot of it does come down to the coaching, as we know. But look, let me bring in this, because it's still focusing around Ronaldo a little bit. Lindelof has spoken. He's on international duty. Spoken about Ronaldo, said we're very excited about Ronaldo. Spoken about Varane and said, it's an exciting signing. But spoken about his own future and said that, look, over the last couple of years, I've played a lot of games. Last year, I had problems with my back. I feel a lot better now, and I expect to play 50 to 60 games this season. That's interesting. I mean, it's not a headline in the sense that I don't think that means that we're going to drop Varane and Lindelof's going to play 50 to 60 games. Also, he's got every right to say he expects to play 50 to 60 games. I mean, I think Donny expected to play more than he has. Lindelof is well liked by Solsjkaer, and I think Solsjkaer will be very loyal to Lindelof because, look at last season. There was games over the last 2 years where we've seen Bailly and Maguire be a much more balanced centre-back pairing. And I don't care what anybody says. I do think that Bailly and Maguire were a better pairing than Maguire and Lindelof. They balanced each other. They complemented each other really, really well. But every time Lindelof was back, it was goodbye Bailly. And, there is a real loyalty, naively, wrongly, rightly, whatever you want to say. There is a real loyalty from Solskjaer towards Lindelof. And that loyalty is interesting because Varane is the best centre-back we've got, like Ronaldo's the best forward we've got. And Maguire is the captain. So we've got the best centre-back we've got, and we've got the captain. They're undroppable. And yet, I do expect Lindelof to play a lot of games. How is that going to happen then? How are we going to do that? Because you only play the Carabao Cup once or twice, 3 times before Christmas? We don't play the FA Cup till January. All right, latter Champions League games, there might be a chance to use the squad, but ultimately we didn't get out the group of the Champions League last year, and we're trying to get into a title race this year. You can't just go, we're playing Norwich at home, let's play Lindelof and drop Varane. So how is Lindelof going to get into this team? And it comes nicely into what Paul Ince said a couple of weeks ago, what some of you lot have said. Are we going to try and play a back 5 so we can play a front 2? In which case, Ollie's solved a problem. I can play Cavani and Ronaldo, and I can keep playing Victor. And I think it's an interesting point. Mark, have you heard the myth that lives in the Farmers League called Penal Pessi? Says absolute legend. Actually, Bruno was decent yesterday in the first half. He had the highest rating, and he won them a pen. The coach subbed him in the 60th minute, says Sultan. Yeah, but what I mean is, I actually disagree. I don't think he played that well for Portugal last night. I think he played okay. I called it he would get substituted, and I would have subbed him myself. I don't think he played that well. I don't think Ronaldo played that well, but you don't sub Ronaldo for Portugal because he does what he does. Do you think we could end up seeing Lindelof in a back 5? I think that there is an opportunity for that to happen. I certainly think that we will see it happen at some point with United. But as I said before, I don't know 100%. Sorry, I've misquoted Lindelof here. He said, I've played a lot of... Sorry, apologies. When I'm wrong, I'm saying I'm wrong. He said, I've played a lot the last 2 years, and last year I had big problems with my back and played with pain. My back feel good now. There'll probably be no problems, but I do not think I will play 50 to 60 matches. I thought he said I expect to play 50 to 60 matches. So look, he's not saying he's going to play 50 to 60 matches. So that's a bit of a change. But he did also say it's great. I play in one of the world's biggest clubs and they have very good players. We'll have competition situation. And I only see it as a positive that we've got a good player in the squad. So look, but to be fair, all right, he hasn't said he expects to play 50 to 60 games. And thank you for everybody for letting me know that. But I still stand by what I said. He never let Bailly play instead of Lindelof. He was always very loyal to Lindelof. And as I said, if you're just going to go with Varane, the best centre-back, and Maguire, the best centre-back, then Lindelof's going to play he's going to start less than 10 games this season, isn't he? Because he'll only start in the Carabao Cup, maybe the FA Cup. I think Ollie is going to find him Premier League games to start. I think he is going to find him big games to start in. And I do think we can't ignore that we might go to a 3 centre-back system. Now, I don't like the 3 centre-back system, because I don't think it gets the best out of what we've got. But if I just quickly go to this screen and show you why, if you play Varane there, you pull Lindelof in here, you pull your fullbacks back, that's your back 5, yeah? So then maybe you play Fred and Pogba, and you play Bruno, and you play Ronaldo. This is the way to basically get Cavani into the team, isn't it? So you play Ronaldo and you've got to bench Sancho. That's my problem with playing a back 5, is that you basically play a 5-3-2. And on paper, it's like, well, Lindelof can play and you can play Cavani and Ronaldo, but you lose your width. You lose your width because you're going to play Bruno as the sort of number 10. You still need a number 10. So you're going to play Bruno. He's always going to pick Pogba, and then he can only play Fred out of Fred or McTominay, okay? But he can't play Rashford. He can't play Sancho. He can't play Greenwood. He can't, he can't play Martial. Can't play Lingard. So that's the problem. We all start saying, do you think we'll play a 5-3-2? But if you play a 5-3-2, you basically get finding a place to Lindelof to lose your wingers. So yeah, we could play a 5-3-2, but I don't think people actually think about it. Basically, if you play a 5-3-2, obviously your wing backs are going to get forward, and that could be very good for the front two. But the problem with this system is, and the reason I don't think we need to see it, is that by bringing an extra defender in, you lose an attacker. Also, we've got 2 number 7s at the moment because Ronaldo will wear the number 7 and Cavani is wearing the number 7 at the moment. So until we get that confirmed next week, we've got 2 number 7s. These 2 players here, I'll get that right. Imagine Luke Shaw's got it. Luke Shaw, come on Luke, up you come. Whips a cross in, it's a beauty, right? You know what these 2 are going to do? Clash heads, because they're both going to go for the same ball. So it's going to be very interesting. Luke Shaw's gone small there. It's going to be very interesting how Ollie deals with this situation, because you never sub this guy, but can you play this guy with him? And I think what we're probably going to end up doing is this will happen. We will go to the back 4. We will play like that. We'll have Ronaldo here. And I think we'll see Cavani probably playing off the left sometimes, or Ronaldo playing off the left sometimes. And maybe we'll see, Sancho on the right. We might see something like that where these 2 interchange. But then you're asking Cavani to track back, or you're asking Ronaldo to track back. It's interesting. It is interesting. And for me, I wouldn't have been surprised, as I said, if we'd let Cavani go. I know nobody really wanted to see that happen, and I didn't want to see it happen. But I can also see that the issue that we've got, Solskjaer's got a lot of work to do. I think in Cristiano Ronaldo, you've got a player that you just cannot substitute. And therefore, you're going to have to find a way of getting them both on the pitch. How certain are you that Ronaldo will get 7? I just saw your tweets about the website crashing, says Thomas Bennett. Pretty much nailed on, mate. To be fair, this has been floating around the media and sources for about 4 days that he's going to get the number 7 shirt. The latest update is that, as I said at the start of the video, that it's about Premier League dispensation. That's the rule that's going to be used. There was an opportunity whereby if Cavani hadn't played and had been sold, we could have given it straight to Ronaldo. That's obviously not happened, and Cavani did play at the weekend, so we can't just swap off our own accord. The only way we can do this is through Premier League dispensation. But the Premier League are very open to doing this because they've already seen the amazing amount of eyes and interest there is in the Premier League. I mean, the Premier League was already the best league in the world. It's gone up again now with Ronaldo, and they're fully aware that to make the most out of that, you need the real Ronaldo. And I think if you don't put Ronaldo in a number 7 shirt, and I'm talking about the Premier League here, if you don't put Ronaldo in a number 7 shirt, it's not quite Ronaldo. So they know that, yeah, he's going to wear a United shirt, but he's got to have that number 7 on the back. It's something slightly missing if you don't give him that. And obviously, Cavani isn't opposed to giving up the shirt anyway. So it's on the Premier League now, and everything is saying that the Premier League are going to do that. And that ultimately, the reason it's not been announced yet is because Ronaldo's not even been to Manchester yet. As soon as that Portugal international is over against Azerbaijan on Tuesday, of which Ronaldo might not be there, he might come back earlier, but certainly Wednesday morning into Manchester, get everything done. And it could be next Wednesday. I think it might be next Thursday we get the big announcement, because as I said, with Ronaldo, we've had the announcements. We've had last Friday that he's coming to United. We had Tuesday morning that he's officially a player. But this is going to be one of the first players in history to get 3 announcements. We are going to get something special late next week. Could be Wednesday, could be Thursday. I don't think it'll be Friday. I think it'll be Thursday. Video, Ronaldo, number 7. That's all to come. So get ready for it. And it will break the internet. And United would be stupid not to do that, because we want to see Ronaldo, what he did last night for Portugal, doing it in a United shirt, but United have got to use this player. I mean, he was massive at Juventus in a league that wasn't that popular. He was massive at Real Madrid because Real Madrid are a massive club, but the Premier League is the biggest place to be as a footballer now, and Manchester United's one of the biggest clubs in the world. Do you see VL and Donny van der Beek in midfield? VL can defend and pass better than Fred. Van der Beek is better than Fred, says Chase. I don't think we're going to see Victor Lindelof in the midfield, mate, and I've told you why I don't think we'll see Victor Lindelof in the midfield, because I think for Victor Lindelof to be used in the midfield, Ollie would have to be desperate to buy a midfielder in the summer. I think the only way you'd play Lindelof in the midfield is if, like, we tried to buy a midfielder and it all fell through at the last minute and we now need to go to an emergency action. The reality is, a midfielder for United this summer was a nice to have, not a need to have. And therefore, that shows you that Solskjaer is very happy with Matic and McTominay and Fred. So we'll never see Lindelof playing in the midfield, no. Marty, this just shows how directionless recruitment has been and the lack of playing style, says Nicholas Addy. And with Williams, Levitt, Lard, Galbraith, Axel, Chong, Palestri and others being on loan, would you consider a loan watch episode once a month with updates? We could do that. Glenn Tracy, that's very good. Ollie loves Rashi. Do you not see him as a usual starter? Oh yeah, Daniel Kirk. I actually think, I will say this quite clearly here, because I've said it a few times over the last few days, but it might have been on the transfer deadline show where it's lost in the middle of a 9-hour stream. I think Solskjaer has got probably one of the hardest international breaks he's ever had, because what happened over the last week was not planned. And it's great and it's exciting and it's amazing, but you need to understand that this was not the plan. Ronaldo was not the plan. And that doesn't mean it's like a bad plan. It's like waking up on Christmas Day morning and you thought you were going to get a Vauxhall Astra and you've got a Ferrari. We were very excited about getting your Vauxhall Astra, but now there's a Ferrari there and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to have to buy a brand new outfit. I can't drive around in a Ferrari in a bloody Primark tracksuit. I could have done it in a Vauxhall Astra. I need to go and get some, I need to prepare. I need a haircut. I need some sunglasses. And I think that's basically what's happened with Solskjaer, is that Ronaldo is like getting a Ferrari when you thought you were going to be dealing with a Vauxhall Astra. But the reality is he's not prepped for it. Dan James started against Wolves and we sold him on the night. We've not prepped to sell Dan James. A lot of things happened in the last week of the transfer window. Again, like they did last year and like they did with Igalo and like they did with Cavani, where we're just sort of like panicking in a way. It's unprepared. I said this a few days ago that we clearly came into this transfer window without a bloody clue what we were doing about selling players. I don't know whether we intended to sell Lingard and he said he's not going. We certainly weren't looking to sell Dan James until right at the end. Obviously, we were thinking about letting a goalkeeper go because we brought Tom Heaton in and now we've got 4. I think that we were very unprepared around the transfer window, apart from Sancho and Varane, who were very prepared. And I think that's now fell into the team. I think the team is a 4-2-3-1. And I think Solskjaer knows that when everyone's fit, Rashi's off the left, Sancho on the right, Bruno plays at 10. Cavani's the number 9, sorry. And, your midfield 2 is God knows what. Ronaldo comes in and you're like, well, now Ronaldo's your number 9. Greenwood's getting better and better and needs to start games. Well, where does Greenwood go then? Because I've got a number 9 now, and I've got Cavani, and I've got Greenwood. I could put Greenwood on the right, but then I'm going to bench a £74 million player. But if I play Sancho, when does Greenwood ever get any time? And he's scoring goals. When Rashi's back, I can't sub Rashi. So he has got major problems. And we all talk about the midfield. And the midfield's a problem because we lack quality there. The attack is a problem because he's got so many attackers. And as I said, Ronaldo is a player that needs to play for 90 minutes because we saw last night you can't. If we're drawing at home to Wolves, right, and there's 20 minutes to go, and he takes Ronaldo off and he brings Cavani on, and we draw the game, we're all going to go, if he kept Ronaldo on, he might have got the winner. He's that sort of player. And we've seen him do that with Rashford. He doesn't like to sub Rashford either. So you've got two players in Rashford and Ronaldo that basically he doesn't want to sub. So this is why Ollie doesn't make subs last season. He doesn't make subs, and we're crying out for subs because when you look at the team, there's players on there he doesn't want to sub. Doesn't want to ever want to take Rashford off. Doesn't want to take Bruno off. Doesn't want to take Pogba off. So it's normally Greenwood who gets subbed, isn't it, to be fair? But I think he's got a massive job over this next 2 weeks to figure out what his plan is over the next... I just do it month by month. But if he thinks he can start rotating Cavani and Ronaldo, he's in for a big, rude awakening because you can't rotate Ronaldo. You can't. You've got to play him every minute of every game because of what he can do. Ollie doesn't even think the midfield has problems. Mark, how does this end for Ollie if he gets top 4 and no trophy? He'll still be the manager, Nicholas Addy. The club will be very happy with top 4. Ronaldo gets 7. Hope I don't hear that in your after-match ratings, says Sanved. And now that we have Ronaldo, I don't know, Mark, I have a strange feeling he might win United the league, says Night Owl. We've just got to get Ronaldo the service. As I said, I don't think Portugal are a very good coach side, but they still managed to put 2 crosses into the box and Ronaldo won them the game. If we can be putting in... It's not all about crosses, by the way. It's not all about crosses. It's about breaking fast. Ronaldo yesterday showed that if you put a good cross in the box, he can win you the game. But Ronaldo on the break can also win you the game. Ronaldo in and around the box, when you move the ball quickly and give him a bit of space, can also win you the game. What we saw yesterday is his ability in the air. And yeah, I think Telles and Delone do need to be used more this season because if Shaw's having a bad game in relation to crossing, get Telles on. Dalot could be very important for United this season because of his crossing ability. You've got to get the best out of it. And Delot's got a lovely cross on him. So we're going to talk about Di Maria's quotes, but I just want to add something in before I talk about Di Maria quotes. Manchester United have now got the 3rd most expensive squad in the world. Behind PSG and Manchester City, I think we've got the 3rd most expensive squad in the world. And we've probably, I would guess, we've got at least the 3rd most expensive wage bill in the world. This money and football don't always go hand in hand, but in the modern game, they seem to become more hand in hand than they ever have. We've got to achieve something this season. We cannot, and I said this yesterday, we cannot sit here as fans and go, we need a holding midfielder, that's the excuse. This is not the excuse that's coming from the club. This is not the excuse that's coming from Solskjaer. They're over the moon with what they've got. We've got the 3rd most expensive squad in the world. We've probably got the 3rd most expensive wage bill in the world. That, to me, suggests you've got to get to the semi-final of the Champions League. 3rd most expensive squad. You'd expect to be at least 3rd in the Champions League. And you've got to be at least 2nd, fighting for a title in the Premier League. So those are the expectations. And let's see what we can do. Ronaldo can be the perfect super sub. Jenks, what are you talking about, super sub? What an absolute... I've never heard such a horrible comment in my life. That's vile. I've been called all sorts of names. Ronaldo the super sub. What are you on about? What's your starting 11, says Daniel Kirk. Very quickly, my starting 11 is De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Maguire, Shaw. I would go with Pogba and I think Matic. I would go with Bruno. I would go with Ronaldo at number 9. I would go Sancho off the right and I would go Rashford off the left when he's fit. At the moment, I would go Greenwood and Sancho as the wider players. But I want to see Matic and Pogba against Newcastle. I presume we're talking about Newcastle because Matic can play that role. He's the best CDM we've got. I know he can't play every week, but I still think to start... What you need to do if we start with McTominay over Matic, McTominay's probably going to have the same sort of game as Fred, and we're going to get frustrated. I think start with Matic, show what the blueprint is, and be saying to people like McTominay and Fred, that's how you need to play. I know Matic can't play every week, but I'd play him against Newcastle and just show those players that's what I want you to do. Because at the moment, I don't really think they know what they have to do. We know what they need to do, but they're not delivering. So I would go with Matic and just say, watch Matic for this game, and that's how I want you to do it. I can see the goalkeeper situation being the same as last year with De Gea in the league and Henderson in the Cups, Champions Leagues. Thoughts on that? I think it's a joke, Ahmed. I really do, but yeah, I think you're right. Hope you're well, Mark. You ready for a cheeky 1996 Oasis Nebworth documentary soon? Much love from New Zealand. When's that coming out, John? Okay, I'm looking forward to that, definitely. Yeah, I'm definitely up for that. Right, let me tell you about Di Maria quotes. I'm going to get you these Di Maria quotes for you now. Remember to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Thanks everyone who's become a member, by the way. And also, what I was going to say as well is, smash a like on the video. Got a cracking video coming up for you this afternoon. Probably going to be around sort of 2 o'clock. It's an interactive video. That's all I'm going to say. You don't want to miss the live. You can watch it afterwards, but it's going to be better live. It's very interactive with the chat. You get involved in it. Around 2 o'clock today, but make sure you subscribe because you want your notifications on. Keep checking the channel. That's all I'm going to say about that. Right, I'm going to tell you Di Maria's quotes. But first of all as well, let me just show you this. Remember, we released it last night. It's out now. The new Last Dance hoodie, available through the link in the video description. Fantastic design. I worked on that design, actually. It was partly my idea. I wouldn't know how to do it, but I said that's the vision I've got. Links in the video description for it. I've got it on order already. I haven't even got mine yet, but I've got the black one coming in. I actually quite like the grey one. I think the grey one's quite nice as well. But got some lovely colour. If you can pull off the white, I'd look a prat in the white. But I think if you've got if you look good in white, that's gonna bang. Links in the video description for that. As ever, we've got loads of t-shirt designs, as you can see. We've got the Jane and one. We've got Just Give It. We've got Greenwood. We've got. I don't think we've got the Bruno one anymore. Bruno one's gone. It's a shame. If you got the Bruno one, it was it's been but we've got it available as a t-shirt. That's what I was going to tell you. Got it available as a t-shirt as well. Links to the video description for that. Only came out yesterday. There you go. Right, let's talk about what Di Maria has said. Snake. And we do ship worldwide with those as well. Atafa doesn't want one. You don't have to buy one Atafa, it's fine. But let's have a look. Let's have a look at what Di Maria has said. Di Maria, I don't give a fuck about the Manchester United number 7. My problem at Manchester United was the coach. Van Gaal was the worst of my career. Can I just respond and say, Di Maria, we don't give a fuck about you. Stop talking about Manchester United because no one cares. We don't give a fuck about you. You're a snake. You always will be a snake. Jog on. And you can't jog because you're slimy. Jog on. You can't jog on, you're slimy. Slither off. Slithering. He said, I would score assist and the next day Van Gaal would show me my misplaced passes. He's displaced me from one day to another. He didn't like players being more than him. Mate, I don't really care. You've just said I don't give a fuck about the Man United number 7 shirt. You didn't give a fuck about United. I don't give a fuck about you. And also, just coming from ESPN, now remember, this is the guy that said we're in for Haaland as well. Cristiano Ronaldo is now likely to report earlier than planned for Manchester United after getting suspended for next week's World Cup qualifier in Azerbaijan. He's expected to be released from Portugal squad for Saturday's friendly against Qatar. So Ronaldo could be released early. I don't think I mean maybe Ronaldo. I don't know what that means. I'm sure Ronaldo will want to play in the friendly because it's still goals he can score for them, isn't it? But that means that could be a little bit earlier then. With the, if he's not going to play, what I would say about that is, and look, I've already said this. I've said this, haven't I already? If Ronaldo doesn't play for Portugal next Tuesday, he could be in Manchester on Monday. And if he's in Manchester on Monday, then the shirt sales could be, the number 7 thing could be announced on Monday. It could be announced on Tuesday. If he's going to be part of the Portugal squad, he won't play on Tuesday and come back on Wednesday, and it'll probably be Thursday. If he's not playing on Saturday, he can keep knocking it further forward. So I don't know why he wouldn't play for Portugal on Saturday, because as I remember, friendly goals still do count for your club, don't they? So that for your international team. So I'm sure he probably would want to play against Qatar. And it's probably good for him from a United point of view that he plays against Qatar to get more game time in. So I expect he will play against Qatar. He can't play against Azerbaijan, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. We can't play inverted wingers and get the necessary service to Ronaldo. How is Rashford coming inside and shooting every game going to help us, says James Harper. I mean, what I would say, James, is Qatar, not Qatar. What I would say about Ronaldo is that you've got to build a team around Ronaldo. And we certainly have some players that don't build the team around Ronaldo. If you play Cavani and Ronaldo, you're taking away some of the space that Ronaldo wants to go in. If you play Rashford on the left, he is a player that wants to cut in and shoot. He's quite, a selfish attacking player, which is fine. You want that sometimes. What Ronaldo needs are players like Jota, Silva, Bruno, who are just going to make space and make things for him. That's what he's there. Benzema just works his arse off to create space for Ronaldo at Real Madrid. So this is what I mean. Ollie's got a lot of work to do, because Sancho is perfect for Ronaldo. The fullbacks are perfect for Ronaldo, get the crosses in. Bruno's perfect for Ronaldo. Pogba, I think, will be perfect for Ronaldo. But he is going to have to make Greenwood and Rashford get their heads up and play to Ronaldo's strengths. Because if they just get their heads down and look to get shots off all the time, Ronaldo will start to tell them off, because he'll be like, look, you're not going to score every time you do that, but if you put a better cross in, I might score. So development of people's game is going to be very important. But I'm not panicked by it, because if Rashford comes back and starts cutting inside and shooting all the time, Ronaldo will take him aside and have a little chat with him, and it won't take him very many seconds to convince him that his best option is to pass the ball to Ronaldo, because Ronaldo is going to be the GOAT of that team, and Rashford is going to be in awe of him, and Greenwood's going to be in awe of him, and they're going to learn a lot from him. So it'll probably help their game more, and they will become better players because of that. Anyway, look, make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe. As I said, live interactive show coming at you around 2 o'clock, so make sure you tune in for that. Looking forward to that. You're going to enjoy it, so make sure you tune in for it. And as I said before as well, the link is in the video description. If you want to get yourself one of these bad babies, we got it in a hoodie as well. Links in the video description. And we do ship worldwide. So thanks everyone for watching, and I'll speak to you all in a little bit.